Well, I did not expect to have this much to talk about today. The PlayStation Japan event Play just now ended, and we actually got a lot of new details from it. At the time of me recording this, we don't have a direct translation yet, so when a translation does finally come out, if it has any new information, you can count that I'll be making a video on that too. But the really interesting thing is that we got lots of new screenshots to dive into, and they actually give us a lot of new information. Now, before we dive into these, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Elden Ring news, and to be involved with a really active Souls community. But now let's start with the most interesting screenshot we got. There is a lot to see going on here. The image hasn't been released in 4K yet, but it's still good enough to see all the main details. And right off the bat, you'll notice this new enemy type. It kind of reminds me of a flying hag raven from Skyrim, in a way that it's sort of this old woman transformed into like a demon bat. It's pretty creepy, but it's really cool. It seems to have some kind of red thing on its chest, but it's too difficult to make out since the quality of the image just isn't great. But with this enemy and all the wyverns flying around, I think we're gonna have a bigger variety of flying enemies in this game. In Dark Souls, most of the fights took place on the ground, and if it was an enemy with wings, typically it would fly around for a few seconds and then land, and that was your opportune time to attack. But in Elden Ring, we have a lot more mobility now, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But take a look at how the character is equipped. They've got a kind of standard longbow and a folded cap, and then this green robe with some kind of symbol on the back that I can't make out. They're not wearing any shoes, but the build kind of resembles a hunter to me. Not a bloodborne hunter, but a hunter going out to kill some animals, which is interesting given the conveniently placed herd of sheep right there. We know hunting animals is going to be a part of the game, however we haven't seen any game of this size yet. I believe what the people that got to see the gameplay said was that they got to see the player hunt some squirrels or some kind of rodent that was scurrying through the bushes, but this makes it seem like there's going to be a good variety of animals to hunt out there. But now let's talk about the detail that you've all probably noticed. We finally get another look at our walking castle, and we've seen him before, but what's interesting is we now know that he's not just pacing around one area. This guy is on the move. If you remember last, he was walking around the swamp, and now he seems to be marching around the open field. Now, an interesting theory has popped up. People are starting to speculate that he's carrying around our main hub, and it makes sense. The architecture is roughly the same shape, and I think that'd be really cool to have a main hub that moves around the map and you have to go seek it out. But those are the main details we can break down in this picture. Now let's take a look at the next screenshot. This might look familiar to you, and it should, because this is the same area that we saw the pot boys in the original screenshot. However, something's different now. The player killed the pot boys, and that's right, they're nowhere to be found in this screenshot. We've known you can kill the pot boys for a while, and I'm starting to lean towards the idea that they could be our new crystal lizards. If you remember the tweet from a long time ago with the pot boy fan art, the caption was, "Take care, tarnished, any warrior may strive to temper their vessel." Now that could mean breaking them, that could mean making them stronger, but I think they'll also be a form of spirit summon, since they did say that you can level up your spirits. But aside from that, there's nothing else to break down in that screenshot. But we do have something else to talk about. In the play screen, we got a new look at the day and night cycle, and it looks really cool. I just love how ambient this game is going to be. The skybox looks absolutely amazing, and different days seem to have very distinct moods about them, which I absolutely love. But there are a few details to pick out in these shots. There's a ton more foliage in these shots than there was in the trailer, and the two mini Erd trees are lit up. Now, I don't know if that's just a rendering thing, or what exactly is causing that change, but it looks absolutely beautiful. Now, there is one final thing to point out here. In this shot of the night sky, we actually get a new look at this statue. I know a lot of people were trying to decipher exactly what it is, but it looks like an angelic figure, some sort of cloaked woman with wings. So now let's take a dive into this new screenshot we just got from Elden Ring. Now this one is interesting. It's not a typical clean and cut gameplay capture like we've seen in the past few screenshots. It's got this sort of smoky filter over it and then that Celtic knot embroidery along the side. However, we can clearly tell what it is and what's going on here. We've seen this scene plenty of times. It's the giants pulling these coffin carts along the many roads in the fields of Elden Ring, accompanied by these zombified guards and Caravan. But now we can get a really clear look at the details that are reliefed along the surface of it. On the back of this cart, you can see a step-up ladder into what looks like a chest on the back, and it really goes along with what accompanied the tweet, which reads, "In the search for the Elden Ring, the adventurous and perseverant will always be rewarded." So it pretty much cements for me that these carts are going to be lootable, as we suspected. They'll probably have large amounts of runes, which we know are going to be the game's joint currency and experience system. It's really hard to make out exactly what the designs are that run all over the back of this thing. In the middle of that circular circular pattern. It seems to be the repeated design of a tree, although where the trunk would meet the branches is some sort of skull design, or at least that's what it looks like to me. Now aside from that, there really isn't anything else to discuss about this. We can theorize about what exactly these are and what they contain on the inside, but clearly they're coffins of a sort. And the theory that I like the most is that they're transporting body parts for Godric. That's just the one that makes the most sense to me, because it seems like they're traveling towards Stormveil Castle. We have yet to see one of these that takes place outside of that broken area around the castle, but that does cause a few questions to arise. If these coffin carts are going to Stormveil Castle, where are they coming from? In this shot of the dragon, we can see several of them broken down, and the dragon is sitting on top of them. So I'd like to know what the motives of the dragon are for destroying these carts. And we also know that Stormveil Castle itself was sieged by the wyverns. So there is this sort of struggle between the wyverns and the dragon and Godric and whoever else inhabits Stormveil Castle. So as of right now, that's where we stand on this lore. But that's about all I got for you today. Hopefully we get a translation of everything they said soon. They did specify that they'd only be talking about release details so far, but we did just get 2 new screenshots from that. So if there is anything new that comes out from that, I will definitely be covering it here on the channel. So once again, if you're not subscribed, make sure and do that so you don't miss out on any of the news. And yesterday we did host our first Dark Souls 3 PvP tournament here on the channel, and I want to say congratulations to Zero for winning that one. That was a ton of fun. I'm gonna try to be hosting these more often. We're gonna do one on Xbox, and I'm trying to work something out for PC, but I don't have the game yet. And remember, if you want to be involved with this, definitely join the Discord link down below, and I'll keep you updated on when the next one's gonna be. But anyways guys, that's gonna pretty much do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like on it, and I'll catch you in the next one.